Welcome back to Searchlight. It's March 27th. We've got 12 shows, 11 tapes across 9 cities and 6 states. Let's begin. We'll start by touching down at the Mothership. 1988, Hampton, Virginia, the self-proclaimed city of firsts, the first continuous English-speaking settlement, the home of America's first free public education, and the place where NASA's astronauts first learned to fly. Now, looking at the set list from this run, it's hard to think that the band wasn't conscious of this. Yesterday, of course, we got the first and only cover of Bob Marley's Stir It Up, and today we've got the first and only cover of Miles Davis's So What. Now, it's only about a minute long, emerging out of a tuning space to start the second set, but I think that it proves that the band was in fine spirits here at the beginning of 1988. Let's take a listen. Note this is also the first of 2 Ballad of a Thin Man performances, excluding backing Dylan during the Dylan and the Dead tour. Now, let's leave the peninsula, let's go to Long Island, where there's a frenzy of activity today. We've got 85, 91, and 94, all from the Nassau Coliseum. We know it's early in the broadcast for 94, but that's where we'd like to start. Maybe not the most complete show, Terrapin Landing only giving it 3 stars, but we think you'll find this Morning Dew fairly strong in the second set. And this Jackarow, a great performance here, a song that really lends itself to Jerry's voice in these later years. Let's have a listen.
There was a wealthy merchant in London, he did well. He had a beautiful daughter, the truth to you I'll tell. Oh, the truth to you I'll tell. She had sweethearts of plenty and men of high degree, but none but Jack the Sailor.
Okay, we've got 91 here, a fine show that features one of the 4 performances of Ruben and Charisse, the opening track off of Cats Under the Stars, of course. A song that I think many fans would have liked to have seen played more, but only performed 4 times, and all of them coming in 1991. Let's go to 1985. Not the best board, so you may consider listening to yet another Odie Brothers audience tape from this tour, but regardless of your source, spend some time in the first set here. We've got a half-step opener, the first time it's been played since October of '82, and then we've got the first cover of Just Like the Tom Thumb Blues, a Dylan song that would become a staple for Phil Lesh here in the first set, played over 50 times. Let's listen to the band working their way through their first cover of Just Like the Tom Thumb Blues. Okay, let's go west to California for the third show of 1983 and the first show at Irvine Meadows Amphitheater, a venue that the Dead would play 15 times from 83 to 89. And those who attended the 83 and 84 shows will remember that the venue was located next to the Lion Country Safari, a cageless drive-through safari park that was home to a rather famous lion, Fraser the Sensuous Lion, a lion whose fertility was so famous that a film was made in 1973, a box office flop based off Fraser that featured a telepathic lion that spoke to a scientist in the park and taught him how to seduce women. Now, Fraser was long gone when the Dead played Irvine Meadows in 1983, but one attendee claims you could hear the lions roaring from inside the venue. So if you'll humor us here at Searchlight, we'd like to play a song that was written specifically for the film and recorded by Sarah Vaughan, Fraser the Sensuous Lion.
On the nest and bearing, oh, cruel is fate, but it's never too late, said Fraser. Announce the feast, I'm the king of the beast, yawned Fraser. But king or not, I am certainly hot, grinned Fraser. And when you are hot and a hitting the spot, the action will amaze you.
Okay, let's get back on track here. Let's go north to Merced, 1969, a tape that was believed to have been mislabeled for quite some time, but a 2011 post by Hooter Rollin' Around revealed not only that this show might have actually happened, but that it was quite the serendipitous occasion. Now, many of our viewers are probably aware that Bob Weir was adopted and that he didn't meet his biological father, Jack Parber, until 1996. So unbeknownst to Bob, in 1969, he had a half-brother, Jim Parber, living in Merced. And according to an anonymous post, Jim was in attendance that day at the Merced County Fairgrounds and witnessed his half-brother performing, which really isn't far-fetched considering that Jim was an aspiring young artist who created concert posters for local shows there in Merced and was a guitar player himself who went on to play professionally with Lawrence Hammond in the Whiplash Band. So, anonymous source, if you're still out there, please come forward. We'd love to hear more. But let's head back east, 1972, the second to last show from that 7-night run at the Academy of Music, a show that's been described as pedestrian by some due to the lack of big second set jams, but not an opinion that we share here at Searchlight. Certainly not as exploratory as they'll be in Europe in a few weeks, but we think this may be the tightest performance from that 7-night run. And we find this relatively abbreviated playing in the band to be quite enjoyable. There's a reason it was included on Dick's Picks Volume 30. Let's pick up about 8 minutes and 20 seconds into this, and I want you to listen to Phil and Billy leading the band out of the jam and back into the verse, sounding very similar to how they'll sound in Europe in a few weeks. Okay, let's go to Hartford, 1987. This show and the show from the night before released as Dave's Picks Volume 36. And as we've mentioned before, this is the first major tour back since Garcia's coma in '86. So lyrics to songs like Touch of Grey take on a totally new meaning, at least for the fans. So I'd like for the viewers to listen to the crowd just after Garcia delivers the line, "I Will Survive" from Touch of Grey here at the Hartford Civic Center, 1987.
I will get by. I will get by. I will survive. See you've got you missed out. Say your piece and get out. Yes, I get the gist of it, but it's alright.
All right, let's go to Maine, 1986, Portland, the Cumberland County Civic Center, a show that features the only performance of the Bobby Peterson Phil Lesh song Revolutionary Hamstrung Blues, a song that's lyrics were a mystery for a little while, never officially released, tough to decipher from the tape, but I think it's safe to say this is an objectively goofy song, so listen to that one at your own risk. Let's go to 93, Albany. The Nick here, the last performance of Casey Jones, and we wish this one was more memorable for something other than the statistic, but we feel this is a less than stellar performance, but that's not how we would describe the rest of the show. We really like this Loose Lucy, and I never thought I'd be saying this, but we like this Corina, particularly the end of Garcia's solo, sounding a bit like David Gilmour. Let's take a listen. Okay, let's finish March 27th in Atlanta, 1989, 1995, both from the Omni. We'll start in 89, the first show from the spring tour of 89. Band a little rusty, working out the kinks on songs like Built to Last, the title track from the album that would come out later in the year. and October, but where we really want to focus your attention is 95, specifically the Sugaree, clocking in at 16 minutes and 30 seconds, nearly coming to a halt at the 14:50 mark, but Jerry pushing the band forward for a few more verses. But actually what we'd like to sample is the space. We think 92 to 95 is really a sweet spot for space here at Searchlight, and we don't think it gets much better than this. Let's have a listen. Okay, that does it for March 27th. 12 shows across 9 cities, 6 states, and all 4 decades.